everybody. Today I'm going to show you my process of making a dress. These two I actually made. This one was actually inspired by a chair I saw with different crisscrosses on the back. And with this, Audrey Hepburn showed this style of wearing a little black dress. And so I decided to make one for myself. So you design first, and then you find the fabric. So I found this fabric that I really liked. And then I found some velvet that I could use that I thought was a good size for this pattern. This was probably one of the hardest dresses to make because I had to pin all of these by hand and then sew it, and then it would get all bunched up, so I'd have to unpick, sew it again, unpick, sew it again. So it was a very long process, but I finally was able to do it. And then here is my little black dress. So as you can see, I got to bunch the sides and down the middle a heart shape. Another thing about dresses is that you have to find good patterns, because if you try to do it yourself, it might not fit well. This is always my go-to right here. So these dresses were made by this pattern, and I always use it. It's my favorite. So this dress, I just thought of as a random dress that popped into my mind, or something like a little Paris dress, and I found the perfect fabric. I wanted something striped just like this. I was thinking flowers maybe embroidered on the skirt, but I saw this fabric and I thought it was perfect. Sleeves are also really difficult to do sometimes, but again, with patterns such as these, which I also used, I just used this pattern with this sleeve, and that helped. With this dress, I did this for the top, and I did this for the skirt. So it created this dress. I usually have designs in my head and then make it first, but with this dress, I actually saw the fabric, this chiffon fabric in Walmart, and I fell in love with it, and I immediately thought of this design, this 30s looking gown with butterfly sleeves. I used this pattern for it. I used the dress pattern and made sure the skirt was a little wider than what it shows in this pattern so I could have a better flow. And then I created my own sleeves, which you usually cut out a big circle, and then when you bring it up, it has ruffles. And I also needed to add extra fabric in the back so that it would cover my back more. But I liked the droopy look of it. Last but not least, so this is a really, really fun book of famous frocks. So here we have Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's. This is one of her iconic looks. And they have lots of celebrities in this book that with their very iconic looks. This is Marilyn Monroe's. And what's really fun is they have a pattern that you can actually make. So you can make your own dress like these iconic dresses. Okay, here we go. Stevie Nicks. She's known for having really flowy skirts. A very, very unique style. And I fell in love with the idea of pointed skirt and ruffled sleeves at the top. So I decided to make that with the pattern in this book. So what creates the points in the bottom of the skirt is actually when you cut out a rectangle and sew it together. I had to make these sleeves by scratch. It was very difficult because this was not nearly as wide as I wanted it to be. And I love this fabric because when you toss it like this, it just looks like flowing fire or water. Usually creators will experiment, explore, maybe they'll draw something, but for me, I get a very clear vision in my head of what I want. Usually inspired by movies, celebrities, a chair with one of these dresses, and I just think of a random dress idea and I'll draw it down here. I used to do tutus as well, ballerina costumes, dance costumes, but I don't know, it just comes to my head naturally, and then I draw it out and find the best fabric that would help with it, help make it, and then I would make it.